this is Paul from the Tank Modeler channel, and this is in regards to my Dragon build of the JAGDPANTHER in 1/35 from Dragon, and the kit number is 6494. I've mentioned that a few times, so I think that's okay now, and it's the early production model with ZIMMERIT. And as you can see, I've got she's got the wheels on now. And what I will say to you is I used an AK product which is their pigment setting solution, and along with some rubble from their collection as well of the pigments. And I found that I actually placed it over all this area, over the roof and round on the engine area deck and a little bit round the sides and everything. Well, once it dried, it looked terrible, and no matter what I looked, it just didn't look like what it was meant to be to me. So I thought to myself, it had been 8 hours since I put it gliding, and I thought, wonder if I can get it off. So what I went back in there with their thinners, with AK's thinners, with odourless thinners, and painted it all on the areas where it was, and a little bit on the engine deck and all, not all of it, but most of the engine deck as well, all down the sides. And I managed to rub, it took about 20 to 30 minutes, rub round and eventually get it all off, and basically I was back down. And the only place I didn't remove completely was on the rear engine deck, where you can see little speckles of it, and to be quite honest, it looks the part. So I decided I wouldn't go back and do any more on that in that area. So anyway, but I've got the wheels on, and I don't know if you can notice anyway, but there is some shine on the centre, the two wheels in the middle, middle road wheels, the two that are actually together, that go between the two guide arms on the tracks, and you can see a bit of shine there, and I think you can see that quite clearly. Now I'm going to try and find a video I found on YouTube with the Panther at speed going through a camera to show how this suspension oscillated as it went over rough terrain. And in that video I spotted it. Basically, as the vehicle went level with the river, you could see a completely shiny area on all these double wheels where the tracks are actually rubbing up against it and creating a shine. Now I do know for a fact that if the vehicle was stationary for say for a few days, it would most probably start to rust very quickly with no protection. But this vehicle I'm doing now is one that's been moving recently, so I'm going to keep it like that. Now I may tone it down a little bit using a solution that Switcher mentioned in regards to the iron, Tamiya iron, and thin it right down so it's very thin, and just rub a little bit, paint it a little bit with a fine brush around it to tone it down. But that all depends what happens when I do the dose coat, the dusting coat round all the lower plate areas. Now you may just be able to see inside here, and I think you can, inside there on the actual hole, that is all pigments, and that is basically three different dry mud pigment colours all put together and mixed over together and dropped into a layer there, with another layer of light dust sprinkled in areas around it. Now it just about shows through. I've added a couple of bits of oil where the trouble is you can't see it because it's on the suspension at the bottom where the leak, and you're never going to see that anyway, but it is there. And also around the front, if I could just move it slightly here, yeah, I think you can see it definitely on this bit here, there, all around this and around the tracks, a little bit inside the idler, the actual drive sprockets as well on the inside. Just a little bit of dust and heavy dried mud sort of thing that's there all the way around. So if I put this back round, and there you go. So I think you can see that, definitely see the shine better now on that wheel. So things have been going really well now. Now I've done the tracks, and I might just get one of them out to show you. Hopefully this will come into focus. But there they are. That's the tracks. If I just do it like that, that's one of them. Oh, you can't even see it. Best see it there. Here we go. There it is. Now that's been dusted. Now that was treated with this is fro model tracks for the Panther, and basically this is been coated with dipped in the old burnishing fluid, so the tracks went sort of dark and rusty. Then I went over with AK's interactive track wash, and then let that dry, and it left it to sort of a rustic, very light rustic irony metal colour. And then I went over with a sanding stick just to knock off all any pigment or what's named on the metal tracks, to show them cleats shining, and a little bit on the sides just to rub it around, and also did a little bit on this side. So there's the tracks done. I've done both the same, so there they go. They was just going to be fitted on later today, hopefully, so they'll be done. What else has it done? Might be able to do a bit more around this. I'll move it over now. I should be able to keep it in focus if I just move it in the same plane. There you go. You can see a bit just as well there. I don't know if I can get this. Hi, I'm back. Just thought I had to do a bit of twisting around. Anyway, here we go. So I'm showing you rear of the engine deck. I think you can actually see underneath there, just a little bit here, all the mud that's on the long side. Get an old sticker there, all along here. Raised a little bit over it. There's also, you can see these little drippings here that are coming down the back. That is a grease and oil that I've let run down there, because they're in them two locations just above those black bits. You can see it just there. What's actually there is actually a place where they actually put, it looks like a crank handle that goes in, like a starting crank handle. It goes into that location when they release the bolt and swing one of the sides down, and it allows tension to be adjusted on the actual rear idlers for the track tension on the vehicle. So basically two locations, both sides, and that's why I put a bit of grease there. So they would have had to grease in there at some point, and I'm just saying that when they did it, it was a bit sloppy and it's just running down, and it's been done recently. So that's my tip behind that one, to give it a little bit of contrast on the back. Also, I think you can see the exhausts a little bit better now. I did like them the way they were, but after switchers comment about them being a bit too shiny, I must admit I went back and had a thought about it, a little think, and I thought, yeah, he's 100% correct. And I went in with that wash that I told, and I think you can see it much clearly in this video, and there it is. Now, these rear idlers, you can see they're a bit shiny. Don't worry about that, because basically once you put the tracks on there, that would have been slightly shiny, but if it was rubbing against it all the time. It might be OTT. I might go in there with a bit of the wash, like I said, that I did with the exhaust, to tone it down. Excuse me, but I don't think it'd be, not too worried too much about that. Now you can see the rear engine deck as well. It's actually had all the chips now. I can't get in any closer at this angle, so I might go in from the top in a minute and just move it around a little bit if I can, get the camera to lean over. But I think you can see the actual rubber bits on the actual, where the loader's hatch comes down. You can throw it down and hit these two rubbers portions here, and actually then would cushion it as it went down. It's black on there. I decided to put them as rubber because that's what they are normally, but what I've also done is I know for a fact that they could have been sprayed, so they may have been sprayed, and it's just but basically the rubbers come off. Everywhere else I've put some all around the hatch there. I've got some grease and grime around the hatch where it opens and closes, not too heavily, but it's there. I've done some wear and tear around there, chipping, and I think I will get another shot from the top in a minute, but I think you can see that a little bit there, some stains. There's a little bits of stains of rubble around here that have been left over in different places from the actual AK rubble and their additive fixer that I use. Didn't like it, like I said, I've got it off, but I've left some bits, some little small bits are there, and it actually adds to the rear engine plate. So I decided, well, why wash off what actually is as that switcher would say, an happy accident. I think Charlie says that when he's done it on his car's an happy accident as well. But anyway, there you go. So it's there as well. So that I'm really happy with that. I don't know whether it's going to make any difference as I turn it round at this angle, but there you go. I think that's better. I think you can see it now, a lot better now, what I mean by the shiny wheels as well. There they are. I'm happy with those. Like I said, once I get the tracks on there, I think I'll get, and I am going to put a link up to this video, like I said, to show you that, so you can go straight to and have a look at what I mean when you see the tank go flying by. You can see these really shiny bits on the centre road wheels, the doubles that actually have the side guide track irons either side. Carrying on round, you can see I haven't got no more tools. I was going to add wires to this, you know. I've decided it's not. They've had them time, they've used it, and it's been lost. So I've decided not to worry about that. Also, I've done the block. It's in there, all down wood, and I put a sort of an iron colour, Tammy's iron colour, to actually for the actual ribbon that went round it. And I've done a few washes on it. It's just light and it's just timberish looking. I've got a fire extinguisher that goes down there, and I think it's somewhere over the side. It might have even fallen over. Oh, here it is. Basically, there it goes. I haven't finished. I've just primed it a little bit. Whoops, if I get this here, it's going to come up. There it is. There she is. There it is. And basically, that's got to be done, as you can see. There's so many colours. I've seen some people paint them red. Some people paint it green. Now, I'm going to go more for the green colour, but it's a shiny green. There is a sticker, I believe, a decal that goes with it. So I should be putting that on as well. But anyway, so that's got to be done. That's the only other bit of equipment I'm going to put on here. I was going to put some cables, and I may still do that because I've got the some separate ones. But I want to make them because they've got to come from here and basically come up and hook onto that then hooks there, which I've got in place now, as you can see, and they've been painted up in a whole colour. So that's got, you can't see, what am I saying, sorry about that, gentlemen and ladies. There you go, I think you can see it now, just there, that little clip there. It's got to have it has a metal bar go through it, a bit of wire, and I will make a bit of wire to go through there to fit it so it holds in place. I'll hook it on there and drape it all the way down the side. So there you go, that's that bit. I think you can see a bit more of the colour there. coming round to the front. You might be able to see the mud a little bit more just down there now, just in that position there. You can actually see the mud, I think, a little bit better. Sometimes lights shine things up and they don't. The wheels still look a bit shiny, but I might do a bit of, when I do a bit of dust, I think that'll tone it round really nicely. You can see I've done the shovels and everything, bits and pieces down here. They've got the wood effect on them all the way along. There's a bit there. I've got to get that, go back and treat that a little bit there, but it's got some paint on it from when I was doing the scrubbing, so that's okay. I will deal with that when we finish this video. Going on, we've got bits and pieces, tools. Most of the tools are still painted in their base colour, but the ones got used, I've actually obviously made them a little bit more to make the vehicle look a bit more colourful, as it were. So there you go. And the periscopes, I think you can see it's, the periscopes are in there now. There's one rattling around inside, one that dropped out, and it's not any of the ones that are fixed in place. It was one that I lost when I was trying to do this one over here. Whoops, sorry, you can't see it, excuse me. I'm just going to pull this up a little bit, excuse me. There you go, if I come up to there now. If you look at this one here, that's where it was, and it dropped out when I was trying to do it. Remember what I said, I was going to keep this plate separate? For God's sake, if anyone builds this vehicle, make sure you don't glue that plate by mistake in place. I won't make a mistake on my next one, because I have got another JAGDPANTHER, the late version, to build, and without ZIMMERIT, and I will make sure that I leave that plate separate. I'm going to put a little note on the inside, don't glue me. Anyway, so there you go, so that's it. And everything's been really nice apart from that, the few mistakes that I made. Coming back round to the rear engine room. Might be able to see the mud. I think you can see the mud underneath there. I've just watched someone say about doing it on a video, saying they're using milliput for it. So I might be able to get a bit higher now. I don't know whether. If I'm going to switch this off now to show the rear engine brake, so I'm going to switch this off now temporarily. I'll be back with you in a minute. Bye. Well, I'm back, and very short. I had to move that and drop the camera down a bit more. Now I think you can see the rear engine plate quite clearly now with all the bits and pieces, and you see the stains that are around here. All that. Not overly done. There's a bit of rubble I saw about here, a little bit pigments bit there, bit of rubble there that was left on there, and actually that didn't make really appears to assist the view of the actual rear engine plate. So there you go. So that's it, and I think you can see the exhaust again. So that's it. So really that's the end of this update. The next update will be the final reveal, I think, because basically I'm going to be tidying up that shovel that I've just seen earlier on, because you always spot things when you're talking about it, and then go around and put the tracks on, and then give it a little bit of a light dusting with some light colour acrylics, I probably think, because I've got 3 lots of light, I think two different colour paints for life colour. But anyway, so what I do then is I'm going to go download this to my computer, and hopefully now that will be the next to last update, because the next one will be the final reveal. And thank you very much for watching. Oh, one call out for about a model. I'm going to forget that, right? I'm going to put his name underneath. I'll do that. No, I'll just do it and call out in the final review. I'm going to make sure, because I was unready to do this. So here we go then. So thank you very much for watching, and sorry for that little muddle up there. And I'm going to do a couple of call outs in the next video, final reveal of this JAGDPANTHER. Thank you very much. See you next time. Happy modelling. Bye.